That is the whole essence of what it is I guide people to do, whether they're looking for work, looking for consulting assignments, speaking gigs, or media interviews, showing up in your best light so that you can broadcast your brilliance and prosper now. That's what it's all about. And so join my newsletter and get additional information about how to do that. It's free to do, and when you do, you get all kinds of delicious and content-rich free gifts that help you prepare your story so you can prosper now. There's even an audio file about kicking your boring bio to the curb and why you should, and a transcript to go with it. So it's really a win to just subscribe to the newsletter and see what all the fuss is about, because the community here is building because what it is that we do here is so important to people.
Well, and I know that you've got thousands of people that subscribe to that newsletter, and they get tons of information every time you send it out. You know, I think
it's been, you know, what I'd say to people is that you think you want to be known for something, and then you start practicing your own advice to get known for that thing, and then all of a sudden you're a worldwide name. And it happened for me step by step, and it can happen for you too. Maybe the worldwide name that you want is to be the senior vice president or president or whatever it is of what that organization that's the perfect fit for you. I set the intention that that's what I wanted to be known for, and step by step, by following my own advice, I've gotten to that place, and now I have wonderful opportunities to serve people in a bigger, bolder way. So my invitation for everyone who's listening is, what exactly do you want to be landing on as a position where you can make the biggest possible difference for the marketplace and for your own family? Put as much specificity on that, be as clear as possible about the stunning results that you bring about and why you are the unique athlete to deliver the value, and start asking for what you want, because that opportunity is just within reach if you could just get your hands on it, and you're worthy of it, you deserve it, and it should happen sooner versus later, because the world needs you and organizations need you, and I think it should happen as soon as possible.
And you know what? The reason that is so important to the people that are on this call, six-figure job seekers specifically, is because a lot of them right now are applying online for any position that they feel they are qualified for. Oftentimes they're doing it for positions they are overqualified for, and that's why they're not landing the job. They're also trying to fit their square peg into an employer's round hole, and some of them really need that next paycheck. They're looking for anything they think they can do, and they're hoping to land that. But with what you're talking about, being specific, shining in your own light, and asking for what you want, what happens when you do that? Two things happen. One, it's a right fit. You're broadcasting out to the right places what you do, and the people that respond to that are ones that are looking for somebody with your strengths, and therefore you know that the opportunity that you might accept will be a good fit. I mean, that's really important. Secondarily, if you're looking especially for a six-figure job seeker, is that you'll be paid what you're worth. And sometimes when I'm talking with clients, a lot of times they'll say, I don't need to make as much as I used to. But if money's not important for you, is it important for your family? Is it important for your financial goals in retirement? Is it important to give to charity? I've got a current client right now who was making $250. He wants to make $300. His reason for wanting to make $300,000 has nothing to do with his greed. He said, the more I can make, the more I can give to my church. It is really important for me to raise funds for my church. Tears welled up in my eyes when I heard that. So he has a sense of urgency of getting what he's worth so that he can then give it away. And whatever your reason is, for you to have a good fit in your next career and for you to be paid what you're worth so that you can do whatever you need to do with that money, I mean, those are two really big, important points that if you're just applying to anything that's out there that you hear about, you're not going to get. I mean, that's just so important. Everything that you said today is so important for people who are in that situation.
Well, I'm so glad that there's been value added here. And, something I would say, and this is just me talking, I think that you get to a place in your life where it's got to be more than food, clothing, and shelter. It has to be about the impact that I can make on a community so that I can live my legacy today. If I'm going to a job where I'm underemployed and underutilized and compensated below what I need to be my best, I'm going to feel achy about it. I'm just not going to feel good about it, and it's not going to be a long-term situation. So it does take courage to declare what you really, really want with as much specificity as possible so that you can own it and bring some personal energy and enthusiasm to bringing that alive to a bigger impact. Any job, going from a rut to a fur-lined rut, the amenities of the fur-lined rut don't really make you a whole lot happier once the initial new car smell has faded. So why not make it now to go and get that thing that you really want so you can, for the balance of your career, feel just amazing about the contribution that you're making and make it bigger than the money, because this is your life. Get what you want. Show up in your, I don't mean to sound so evangelistic, but for me, having figured that out at this stage, I'm so glad to have figured that out. That being me, however that shows up, it's working pretty good. It can work for you too.
Exactly. And you know what? I think that you can bring that for people. I know that I bring it for people. By the way, if anybody wants to talk with me about specifically resume writing or finding a six-figure position very quickly, a majority of my clients are now getting six-figure positions in less than 10 weeks. So if you want to explore that possibility, then you can call me. It's 816-600-2478, or you can email me at Tammy, Tammy, at beyondjobsearching.com. We do have some time for questions, and it looks like there are a lot more people on the webcast, on the webinar, than there are on the phone. However, I would love to take questions from anybody on the phone. Press star 2 to raise your hand, or anybody online by typing in a question in the bottom left-hand corner box of the screen. So it looks like we already have a question from Steve in Overland Park, and he asks, do we have any visuals for this? And actually, I didn't put up any webinar visuals for this one. However, I was going to ask Nancy, do you have an example that you would be able to send me that I could send out to everyone who will be listening to this call, either live or later, that I could possibly either post on my website and send them to you, or possibly give it out in an email?
Yes, you know what I have that I want to make? I was fortunate to get interviewed by Practice Pay Solutions for a webinar that was recorded. And Tammy, I'll share with you the link where people can go to get that 24/7 wherever they are in the world. They can listen to me, they can watch the webinar, and read the testimonials, the whole thing. But it's available 24/7 without fee. You can go to that site and you can watch and listen and have plenty of visuals that also show some really good before and after bios and showcases some of the examples about what not to do and how to turn a what not to do into a what you should do. So I will send that to you so you can share it with your community. There's no fee. You can listen anywhere, anytime, and you can watch, because some people like to listen, some people like to watch, and some people like to have a live experience, and this has all of that. So I'll send that to you, absolutely.
And that's from Practice Pay Solutions.
Yes, and if you happen to be on the computer, I'll just say to you, you can go to practicepaysolutions.com. I'm sorry, I'm typing this in right this minute.
Sure.
You go to just bear with me for a minute. practicepaysolutions.com. You go to practicepaysolutions.com, and when the home page comes up, you'll actually see my picture on the home page, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's taking a minute to come up for some reason, so I want to do this step by step. Just bear with me. Sorry for the delay.
Sure.
Oh, here it is. It came up, and so if you're on that home page, if you scroll down, there's a place on the page that says eUniversity Solution, and you click on Learn More, and then you scroll down again to the page that says Business Development Series, and you click there.
Okay.
And this is the last time. You just click down and you'll see my picture. Rockstar Status Reality Check with Nancy Jetton, and then you can just view the recording, and the webinar will come right up. You'll listen, you'll watch. You can do that at your 24/7 convenience wherever you are in the world. And you'll enjoy it. It's really a good webinar.
Will you send me the link to that exact page also, so I'll put that along with the recording?
But right this minute.
Okay.
It's right at you. And if people are still on the call and
they are. There is nobody that has left yet. I did get another question from Bob in Granbury, Texas. He says, Nancy, you mentioned something about ABC DIY filters in the beginning. Can you elaborate? And I know that we had kind of run out of time before going into that because you had a lot of compelling examples. But could you just
I can do it fast
for us? Yeah.
Yeah, let me do it fast. A, absence of proof, arrogance. Don't have a bio that has absence of proof.
You're talking about
arrogance.
Mistakes now. Okay.
Yeah, those are mistakes. Instead, be remember your audience and have affability. A, B, blah blah blah, boring, boilerplate. Don't be blah blah blah, boring or boilerplate. C, that stands for content. Share the right content with the right decision maker for the right situation. If they ask for a 50-word short bio to let them know that you're the right talent for the job, don't send them 42 pages. Send them exactly what they want so that you can get to yes faster.
Yeah.
Send the content that is the right size that even Goldilocks would love. D, differentiation or failure to differentiate. If you sound like every other professional in your field so that it reads like wallpaper instead of wow, it's time to put that to sleep and wake up decision makers fast with a differentiated message that makes you sound cool for some reason. And one of the ways you can do that is to tell a short story about how this journey that you're on to become that thing has been a journey you've been on all your life. I remember this woman I know who's an interior decorator who is actually certified in the science of color. And I said, that's really interesting. How did you discover this? And we went digging, and she said, at 9 years old, my parents gave me a box of Crayola 64 crayons, and even then I knew that 64 colors wasn't enough. I've spent the rest of my life becoming a scientist in the magic of color so that I can bring that to my interior design practice and make people happy wherever they are.